is an icebreaker, so there is no dinging. He's beginning his Toastmasters journey with the icebreaker speech. He'll share how his family has shaped him and how a father's belief continues to inspire him on the path that led him here to Winter Park Toastmasters. Please welcome Toastmaster Phillip Espino.
You're good, brother.
Thank you. And hello, Toastmasters. Hello. Morning. My name is Phillip Espino. I'll be giving my icebreaker, and I want to apologize up front for the nerves. You know, the last time I spoke in front of a crowd was for a high school project, and I was sure that was going to be the last. And I'm going to tell you a bit about myself and why I joined Toastmasters, and I'm going to start from the beginning. You know, my childhood was pretty great. You know, I had a big family, and I was the youngest of 4 siblings. And growing up with 4 siblings, I was the youngest. I was the one who was tormented the most. And they even had a running joke that I was dropped off by the FedEx truck. Every chance they got, they would tell me I'm adopted. But I loved them to death, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. But, you know, I had it relatively easy compared to my parents. My parents had the hardest life. They were both immigrants from Mexico, and they came here learning a new language to make a better life for their children. When I was 6 years old, my dad, he would always come home late. He would be working all the time, and on top of that, he'd be going to night school. And I was 6 years old, and I would see him coming to school after me. I would be thinking, man, it never really does end, does it? And when I turned 10 years old, my little brother came in to the world, and I was no longer the youngest, and I was so happy. And as soon as he was able to understand, I made sure to tell him, "You're adopted." As I grew older into adulthood, when I turned 18, I had the opportunity to graduate with my high school diploma as well as my associate's degree. And I was also able to get my first car, and then 1 week later, I got into my first wreck. And I was absolutely devastated. It was deemed totaled at the scene. I mean, I was okay. The front of the car was completely missing. So I towed it back home, and my dad took one look at it, and he said, "I can fix this." I mean, who knows more than your dad? He was the ultimate handyman. And $700 later, and a few parts from the junkyard, we fixed it. We got it up and running again. And from then on, whenever anything happened to my car, I would always call my dad. The check engine light came on, I'd call my dad. If it made a funny sound, I'd call my dad. Or if the mechanic gave me a quote that was a bit too high, I'd call my dad. And every time, he would always say the same thing when he helped me. "Didn't they teach you anything in college?" So I thought to further my education, I'd go to film school. And I moved to Orlando, far away from my parents. And in film school, because I wanted to make it as a director, had dreams of being a director. And one of the things that comes with the industry is making connections. And that was the part that I struggled with the most. And being a director, you gotta talk to people. And I couldn't do that. But I eventually navigated my way through, and I graduated, and I was able to get a job as a videographer for a restaurant. Never really ever becoming that director. But my dad, he didn't see it any other way, as I was a director, and he was so proud of me. And every chance he saw me, he would say, "Director Phillip, I was always the director, never directed anything." But unfortunately, earlier this year, my dad had passed. And I never became that director that he always saw me as, that he believed that I could be. And I wanted to change what was holding me back, making connections, talking to people. So one Friday morning, I grabbed my best button-up shirt, I threw it in the dryer, tried to get all the wrinkles out, and it didn't work. I put on my best pair of blue jeans, and I made my way to my first Toastmasters meeting here in Winter Park. And I met a room full of great people who are very supportive in one's journey to better themselves each and every day. And that's why I'm here before you today, giving my icebreaker speech. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Give Chris the mic.
And with another icebreaker, Ms. Dawn.